Hi, I'm Darryl Learie, and this is my fourth blog. Anyways, lately, coming up to September 11th, marking the 9th anniversary of the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Centers, there's one thing that really bothers me about September 11th. One particular thing. I'll tell you what it is. When the first tower was struck down, the people in the second tower were told to remain in their offices and told that the building was secure. Essentially, they were told to stay put and not leave the tower. This is what I'm thinking now. The first tower was struck by like a huge jumbo jet or a commercial airliner. I don't know the details, but this is the thing. The first tower was struck like some 20 floors below its top. Now, wouldn't the security realize that there's a chance that the top part of the first tower could have at least broken off and slammed into the second tower? Or that the whole building could have collapsed and smashed into the second tower? I mean, what's the point of asking the people in the second tower to stay put? I mean, this wasn't a small biplane that hit. This just seems like a logical thing to me, to evacuate a second tower if it's right beside the first tower, you know, that got hit with a massive airplane. I mean, when you look at the gaping hole of that first airplane that hit the first tower, it almost stretches across the entire width of the building. I mean, the plane came in at an angle, right? And as my beautiful, industrious girlfriend said, she's very surprised that the towers just collapsed straight down versus sideways, you know, smashing tons of other buildings. So, why would security tell those people in the second tower to remain still and stay in their offices when you're looking out the window? There's like this big gaping hole. I mean, essentially the first tower, 20 floors from its top, looks like it's been like almost sliced in half. Wouldn't someone think like, oh my god, you know, a chunk of this is gonna fall onto the second tower? What do you think, Deb? Do you agree with my consensus? And another thing that really bothers me, because you really don't hear much about this. Now, this is everybody. As I talked to my cousin Carrie Armistead about this, and she said, "Oh, people were panicking and they didn't know what to do." Well, I'm sorry, but I don't buy that. You know, if I'm in a big, huge building, you know, it's like 100 floors high, and there's another building, you know, some 50 feet away from me, that's the same height, and it's lit like a fucking candle, you know, with a big ass hole, you know, 3/4 up on it. I mean, I'm moving out. You know, I'm not staying there to estimate whether it's gonna fall on me or not. And my second real question about this is, why hasn't this been brought up? And do the security people that gave the orders, well, they're probably dead now, but does the security agency that was looking over that, do they feel guilty knowing that if they had evacuated those people, they could have saved almost, you know, 500-700 lives? Or, what does that mean?
2,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was about 3,000.
The whole tower could have been evacuated when the first one hit.
Yeah, this is the thing. Or do the people that create the security policies for the second tower or both towers, do they feel any guilt Or do they brush it off like, oh, well, we were just panicking, we just didn't know what to do, nothing like this has happened before, planes have hit the World Trade Center before. And I think 9/11, you know, it's got a lot of questions, because back in 1994, and this is hardly ever brought up, I'm not sure why, but a van drove into the parkade of the first tower, I think it was.
It was the World Trade Center.
Filled with explosives and blew out 2 floors. And the whole idea was that back then the terrorists wanted to blow out the bottom to collapse the entire tower. But fortunately the tower still remains standing. And then of course there's all those other questions too, you know, of course, you know, people say, you know, that Al-Qaeda had sent a threat and the FBI took it as a bluff until the event materialized itself. But this is the thing, if it happened in 1994, wouldn't they expect it to happen again? I mean, when it happened, my first thought was, oh, it finally happened. Because if terrorists try one time to knock down a building and they don't succeed, you can count they're going to try again. You have anything to say on the matter? Okay.